My name is Heidi Schwartz, and I teach at Humberside Collegiate Institute in Toronto, and I teach law and economics. I started doing mock trials early in my career because I felt that it would be a much more interesting way for students to learn about court procedure than just to read about it in a book. I think that when we talk so much as teachers about students having multiple intelligences, and that this actually allows students who are especially who feel that tests are not their forte, it gives them a chance to shine. And what I've noticed is that I have had more difficulty in terms of students being concerned to be doing a presentation by themselves in front of the whole class, being the center of attention. And in terms of the mock trial situation, they are not alone. So the most satisfying part of doing it in a classroom is to watch students' skills evolve and to watch them learn about the process and to see my students actually excited to be in class. I have students who may not have done as well as other students in class, and it's the mock trial day and they've gone home and they've found a tie and they're dressed up. I've had students like all dressed in the same color. So they are very excited, and it's just to watch their skill level grow, to watch students, obeying the rules of the courtroom. The students are not chewing gum, they don't have hats on, they are speaking politely to the judge, they're calling the lawyers on the other side their friends, and that's what makes me really happy, because I think one of the most important things about a mock trial experience is that it teaches students how to solve disputes in a civil manner. It isn't if you win or if you lose, but that you treat everybody in the appropriate fashion, that you try your hardest and you accept that every judge will have a different decision, and that you know how to act appropriately no matter what happens. And the other thing that I really like to see is that sometimes things will happen that are very unexpected in a courtroom, and witnesses will say things that you didn't think they were going to say, and it's always wonderful to watch students be able to think on their feet and to be able to deal with that in the proper fashion. I'm always surprised in a very positive way to see students grow and develop in ways that I did not expect that they would. Doing a mock trial does require quite a bit of class time. There have to be days set aside to teach students the skills. There has to be time for them to see on a video or possibly by going to the courts to see a trial or a mock trial. And then they have to have time to prepare in class. It's very difficult to do this project as an in-class project if you don't give them time to prepare in class, because it's hard for students to get together outside of class time. So what I found that I have done is that to give my students this time, I have tried to get through other components of the course through student presentations, because it does mean that you're spending extra time on the criminal unit. And also, you can also say that this is part of the unit where you're dealing with dispute settlement mechanisms, so it's used for 2 units. The other possibility, if there isn't a lot of time, we start off doing bail hearings, because bail hearings take less time. I think it would still be a very interesting activity to do part of a mock trial. Certainly students could learn how to do the strategy for a case, or they could simply learn how to do a direct and cross-examination. Another challenging part can be how do you have students work together in teams when something goes beyond one class time, because students are away. And one of the things that I do with my students is we work out ways for them to make up time during lunch hour or after school if they are legitimately away for an illness or for a sport team. And so that can be challenging, is keeping students, in a team, yet some students can legitimately be away from the classroom. The first thing that I think that my students learn from being involved in a mock trial is that they learn how to solve disputes in a civil way. The second thing that they learn is they learn to use their analytical skills. My students have to develop a strategy before they develop questions. And they have to work together, they have to learn about the law, they have to understand how to apply the facts to the law, and then how to develop questions. And the third thing is that they learn about the courtroom procedures, they learn a little bit about the law, so that if they are to be involved in the law in any particular way, that they will not be intimidated. I could see this being done in a philosophy course or in a classics course. I think that at our school in the classics course they put Socrates on trial. It is a fun way to look at disputes through history. So you could certainly put have the trial of Louis Riel. So you could certainly use it in other courses, maybe in science, to put Galileo on trial. This would also work really well with civic students. You could have civic students working as the jury because they have a law component in the civics course. For the grade 12 university course, I like to evaluate my students as student lawyers. So every student plays the role of a lawyer, and every student does at least one examination. The students then develop the opening and the closing statements together in their team, and the opening and closing are part of the strategy that the team has to create together. The students in my grade 12 class, will write their questions based on the strategy. They will explain in their written work how the questions relate to the strategy, and they also do a written component where they describe what they think the opposing lawyer will try to do with this witness. So first of all, I have a written component that is an individual evaluation, and then students are evaluated individually on their performance in the mock trial. So that way it is fair. At our school, the grade 12s and the grade 11 law students work together to do the mock trials, and the grade 11s perform the roles of witnesses, court clerks, court officers, court reporters, and it's a great introduction to them for the mock trial, and it works very well. Even when our courses do not occur at the same time, students have in-school field trips so that they are excused from a class in order to participate in the mock trial, and each student only has to do that once. So it's a collaborative effort within the law program. When it doesn't work with a grade 11 course, what I do is I have the grade 12 students work as, everyone is evaluated being a lawyer, but for other students' trials, they work as the witnesses, court clerks, etc. If teachers are concerned about starting a mock trial, I understand that, because every year when I go to do a mock trial, it's new to me because I haven't done it for a few months. And the first thing that I do is look at the resources in my community, and I will usually get in touch with OJEN, the Ontario Justice Education Network, and find out about lawyers who are willing to volunteer in my school. And we've had many lawyers walk through the doors of Humberside, and we have lawyers come in to help us learn about the law for the particular mock trial. Lawyers have come in to demonstrate objections, to demonstrate how to do a cross-examination, a direct examination. They'll coach students, and I have found the legal community to be incredibly generous with their time. So I rely on the kindness of strangers. When we do the mock trials, we do enough mock trials so that if it's the grade 12 course, everybody has the opportunity to be a lawyer. So we may do 3 mock trials or 4 mock trials. There are 8 students who get to be lawyers in each trial. So 3 trials, 3 classes would be 24 students, and 4 trials would be 32 students. We've also don't always have the perfect numbers in class, so sometimes we have groupings of 3, and that's how we do it. And then other students are involved, as we mentioned. If it's not their trial, they can either be in the audience, they could certainly be a jury member, they can be court clerk, witnesses, etc. And I found that my students love to watch each other. And again, for teachers that are concerned that it's unfair for the students who go second or third, it's unfair for the students who go first, every trial is different. Students that will have already handed in their questions, the questions have to relate to their team strategy. So you can't change your questions because you heard a better question the day before if it doesn't relate to your team strategy. So I have found no difference in the marking between the students who go the first day and the students who go the third day. So normally when I do the mock trials with my students in the school, we are in a regular classroom, and the lovely teacher's desk acts as the judge's desk, and the teacher's chair is for the judge. Normally we have a lawyer come in to act as a judge, and the students know the routine. They set up the courtroom. We have just take the chairs for the class, and we set 4 chairs for the Crown lawyers, 4 for the defense lawyers. We have a chair for the witness, a chair for the court clerk. I have a student acting as the court officer who's in charge of attendance, opening and closing the doors between witnesses, and they even have the right to take the students, if the judge says that somebody's in contempt of court, they can take the students down to jail, which is the vice principal's office. I have a lot of fun doing the mock trials with my students. Every year it's a different scenario, it's different students. I love watching the students, grow in their roles as student lawyers. It's so much fun when students are coming up to you and they're so excited because they think they came up with an angle that maybe nobody else came up with. And I just think it's a wonderful experience. It does take time. But as all teachers know, everything in teaching takes time. Preparing a lecture takes time. Marking a test takes time. So this takes a lot of pre-planning, but then once you've done the pre-planning, you have about 10 classes in a row that will fold out in front of you, and you can really focus on just interacting with the students. I mean, I think that's the other wonderful part, is you have so much time to interact with the students.